You mentioned rape. Does it
Oh my
happen in
goodness.
prison?
How graphic can we get on your show?
Well, within reason. Because a lot of people think that happens in prison. Does it happen? And it doesn't happen if you're in the Aryan Brotherhood or in one of the racial cliques, right?
All right. Prison rape is so common. They enacted a law, PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act, to force the prisons to give the prisoners a rape class to get taught how not to get raped. And it is a complete waste of time. It's just a box ticking exercise so that the admin can say, hey, they're still raping each other, but, we did our PREA class. Now, in the PREA class, you watch some predators in the day room, and the young people coming in are hungry. And if they take food, they're in debt that they can't repay, so they've got them. So then they say, look, you're in debt, pay us this debt, or you're going to get stabbed. I got no money to pay the debt. All right, well, you need to go in that cell over there and do whatever that guy says, or else you're going to get stabbed. And the people who go and do that then, that sexual act, that's called becoming a prison punk or getting turned out. And there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. And the conclusion of the rape class was to report rape. If you report anything, you're a snitch. So a young mentally ill prisoner was gang raped and nobody reported a single thing. Now, my 9.5-year sentence was nothing compared to some of the prisoners I'd met, and they told me stories from the decades before I was in the Arizona prison system. I think there was a 60 Minutes documentary saying that Arizona prisons were the most dangerous parts of real estate in the whole country right now. People getting killed and raped. And the most gruesome story I was told come from a 6.5-foot trans prisoner called Xena. I'll say she because it's disrespectful to call the trans prisoners he. So when Xena first came in, she clicked up with the AB. She was big, weightlifting, blood in, blood out, and debt collecting for the AB.
What does blood in, blood out mean?
Well, you can't, if you're in the gang, that's it. If you want to leave, your blood's going to get spilled. You're going to die. So they use people up and they brutalize them. And in Xena's case, we were writing a blog to raise awareness of prison rape. So I said, what happened? The first time was a gang rape. They beat me up, raped me, beat me unconscious, raped me while I was unconscious, and shoved things inside my body. I said, how do you know if you were unconscious that they raped you? When I went to the toilet after, I could tell by what came out. I said, well, what did they shove inside your body? A broomstick. I said, well, what did you do after? I went into my cell and just prayed that the scars would go away. There's absolutely nothing you could do. You can't go to the guards or you'll be a snitch, or they'll put you in a dungeon for years and say it's for your own protection. You can do, the victim is labeled a rat, a punk, and considered less than human. You can do absolutely nothing. You can't get someone prosecuted for this. That's absurd. So she just went off into her cell and got moved to another yard where the same thing happened. She said, they beat me up, they used me as a sex toy, a prostitute, a punk. There's no recourse, no one to talk to. You can't do anything. I said, does it mostly happen to young people? Yes, it does, but it can happen to anyone. Big bad dudes, skinny, even the ugliest people in the world. People who come to prison who aren't street smart, who don't understand the mentality of ghetto life, it happens to them the most. I said, well, how did you stop it? I took the abuse for as long as I could and I started fighting. I won most of the fights. When I stood up and told them I didn't care about getting killed, it stopped. You've got to be ruthless. You've got to be ruthless. Now that is understatement. Zena hadn't told me the truth as to what had happened because she didn't want to risk getting in trouble with what she'd done. Zena was studying anatomy and she came up with an idea. The next 2 times the gang came to rape Zena, the first member of the gang to put his hand on Zena plucked his eyeball out as it was dangling from the optic nerve. Now, I didn't even think that was possible at the time. I was just in shock, thinking, bloody hell, is she making this up? I had a workout partner in prison called Iron Man. He told me to join a dojo when I got out, did karate since I got out. And in karate, they teach it to us. It's called bird beak strike, where you just, bam, just go in and pluck the eyeball out. Now, when the eyeball is dangling out like that on the optic nerve, it doesn't just go back in and behave normally either. The fluid cushioning the brain can come out from the hollow and you can die. The eye might be pointing in the wrong direction, or you could go blind. All kinds of damage can happen. So Zena did this on 2 separate occasions. She pulled eyeballs out, and they classified her as extremely dangerous, but they moved on to some of her friends. One friend was gang raped. They held him down, they shoved a light bulb in his behind, and they made bets on who could smash that light bulb first. And that guy committed suicide afterwards. And another guy, they got a shovel from the work crew and they held him down and cut his head off. And when the head was finally off, they positioned it in an area of the prison where the rival gangs would see it to make the point they were the most violent and ruthless out of all the gangs. And hearing this stuff from Zena, man, it made me, I feel like I had a guardian angel. I was just blessed to get through it so unscathed. In more recent years, Zena woke up one morning, drank a cup of coffee, grabbed a felt tip pen and started to draw lines on her scrotum. Now, the testicles are on 2 branches called the vas deferens, and the trans prisoners, they want to stop the testosterone coming in and get estrogen smuggled in. So with no painkillers whatsoever, she had a Mosby's Medical Dictionary that she was looking at her anatomy in, this Mosby's Medical Dictionary. She picks up the razor blade, slashes her scrotum open, inserts her fingers into one side, and she did manage to successfully cut off by slicing through the spermatic cord and the gristle. She managed to slice off this testicle. I've got like 10 pages of detail on this in my book, Prison Time. Now, the other testicle must have known what was coming because it retracted inside her body. So she's now got her hand up in her guts looking for this other testicle. And she says she could feel like mushy stuff like organs and things just scrambling around looking for this testicle. But where she's got the blood tied off comes undone. Red hot pain is now just searing through her head from cutting the other testicle off. The blood's squirting out and she's realizing, she's got limited time to try and get this other one. Someone sees this. She's actually bleeding to death. Someone sees this, and they only just got a helicopter in time to get her to hospital to save her life. And the prisoners I met, and that's just one of them, T-Bone, 2 Tonys, they'd done decades, and the stories they told me just absolutely blew my mind. And that's why to this day, that's what made my YouTube channel blow up, was posting the stories of these guys on it. Yeah.
Wow, super heavy stuff.